Welcome to Reef Diary, day 37. All right, so I just got my box from Reef Cleaners. Let's take a look inside. Try and do this. Look at that, pretty good. All right, let's open her up. So it's supposed to show up by 10:30 a.m. It got here about 2:15. That's okay. Still got here on the same day. By the way, the box is not wet, which is great. I wonder if this was dry ice. Oh, no, it's an actual pack, but it is completely liquid because the temperature outside right now is 97 degrees. So inside here, I have some bags and a lot of lightweight stuff. My acclimation guide. What else? Anything else? No. All right. So basically it just says put everything in your sump and let it be there for 15 minutes and then get them in the tank. So I see, looks like astrias and serifs. I'm gonna get my carpet all wet here, my carpet table. More astrias, more serifs. I should have some hermit crabs here too. What do you think, Jack? More astrias. More serifs. So many. This is a total of 300 critters. This might be hermit crabs. Yeah, this is hermit crabs. This one looks like astrias. And this one looks like hermit crabs. Oh, and there's another one in there. Much smaller bag. Okay, so this bag may have leaked. It's a damp towel. And probably serifs. Because I think they're putting water with the hermit crabs is what they're doing. And there's another bag. So many bags. All right, so let me get these in the tank, set the timer for 15 minutes, and then I can start adding them to the aquariums. So I set my timer for 15 minutes, and I'm just gonna let it do its thing, and then I'm gonna tear open the bags, take out all the creatures, and put them in the 3 different systems. It's gonna go in the anemone cube, it's gonna go in the reef, and some will go in the frag system because that has to be cleaned up as well. They are very specific, do not drip acclimate. A lot of people are like, well, I want to do it my way, or I've always done it this way. You got to do what the vendor tells you to do with their product, or you're going to have problems. They even warn you, you're going to put snails in your tank, and they may not even come out of their shells for 3 days. That's possible. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. I like to actually take the shells of snails and put them in jars and put them in my tank in like 3 or 4 locations. That way, they're not on their backs to where they'll just get picked on by fish. So they're safe in a jar, and then usually what happens is at night when the lights are off, they start walking up the edges of the jar, because they can grab onto each other and there's so much surface to grab on, they can just bubble out. It's sort of like popcorn coming out of a bucket. And I've been doing this method for years, and it's a really simple way. Rather than trying to hold one snail in the glass, wait 1 minute, get another snail, wait 1 minute, especially when you've got 100 snails. It's way too long. So the glass method works really well. Other than that, we're going to see how they all look when they're all inside the tanks. So here are all my new cleanup crew babies. They're all ready to get out of the bags. It's been 15 minutes. I try to work quickly. Again, these all are done. And the longer the last bag waits, the worse it is. Every minute counts. So I get everything removed. I'm pouring everything out into a bucket in front of me. I'm checking those paper towels to make sure I didn't lose any critters and get them into the tank next. So here are some of the astrias. Here are some more. I already dropped in a bag of hermit crabs and serifs into the tank. More hermit crabs. I think I'll drop these in the frag tank. And we'll put in one of these in the frag tank. And this is going to go in the reef. I need a ladder. The hermit crabs are quick to react. As soon as they hit the substrate, they're already crawling around. And reef cleaners did mention that they include some extra shells so that way the hermit crabs can switch shells if they so desire. So if you find a few empty ones, don't be surprised. It's actually specifically mentioned in their instructions. This company has 2 shipping methods. You can use the post office, which is slower and more risky, or you can use UPS overnight. Because it's so hot here, almost nearly 100 each day, I definitely chose UPS and got my order shipped to me overnight. Some of these have some weird algae on them, so I'm just going to pick those clean rather than put the algae in my tank. So I'll just rip it off as best I can, and maybe the other cleanup crew guys will clean each other. But I don't need an extra surprise in my tank. I didn't check salinity, but what I did notice while I was pouring out everything out of all the bags is the water temperature was exactly the same as the reef. That was really nice. The water had not had a chance to get hot from the heat of the day because of that overnight shipping. I mean, I really can't overemphasize how important it is. And you know what? The overnight shipping, I think it cost me $44. I think it's money well spent. I really don't think that we should always worry about, oh, I got to get the absolute best deal. Because number one, you're buying Cleanup Crew online to save money, and you're getting a great deal. So get it shipped yourself overnight so you don't have to worry about the results. And now let's drop in some serifs. Done. How easy was that? They find a way to flip themselves over. It's pretty impressive. So I know people are going to keep asking this, even though it's described everywhere. I bought these from Reef Cleaners. It was an online business, and I got 300 creatures shipped to me overnight for $200. I thought that was a really fair price. And if you'll look closely, you'll see the hermit crabs immediately start working on fuzzy stuff right on the rocks or skeletons of corals. And this is exactly what you want to see in your tank. Now, this guy here, he's too small, or that shell is too big. He's having a heck of a time getting around. It's kind of comical. I wonder if he'll pick a different shell. Another day, another crisis. So you think, okay, Mark's dealt enough with what's going on with his tank. What happens today? I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so warm. I'm like, that's weird. And then as I stand up, I'm like, wow, I'm really warm. And I, of course, go straight for the thermostat, and it says my house is 78 degrees. My next impulse, what is the maximum temperature of the day going to be? And it said it was going to be 93. I was like, okay, well, that's a little bit better. It's been 100 for the last few days. So I called the AC company and said the AC's broke again. I went outside, and there's nothing moving on the outer unit. It's off. So they say, turn it off. We'll send a guy out in a few hours. And I'm just thinking, the sooner the better. I mean, seriously, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I need them to come out right now because of this guy. The reef itself was already at 79.7 when I woke up because the house was so warm, and it just kept creeping up. Now, fortunately, the hottest the tank got today was 80.7. And that's actually pretty warm for the reef because for the last few months, because of the sky LED lighting, the tank has been topping out at 79. So I'm already above what the tank normally is, with corals that are already upset with me for some time now. And I have a house that's warming up around it, which is making the tank warm up. So the next thing I did was jump in my truck and drive down to the local gas station to buy a bunch of bags of ice, float it in the system, and keep the temperature down while the room gets hotter and hotter. When I got there, they were out of ice. Some lady bought it all. So I went to a different gas station, got 4 bags of ice, each bag is 10 pounds, and came home with that. But on my way home, I had a little warning signal on my dashboard of my car saying there's a problem with your tire. I checked the tire and there's a big fat nail in it. I'm like, are you kidding me? What is going on? I swear I'm cursed lately. I just feel like such a sad sack, always reporting yet another issue. I'm like, oh my God. So I got the ice out of the truck. I bagged it inside trash bags. And by the way, I just want to emphasize something in case you do something like this similarly to protect your tank. Make sure your trash bags are normal trash bags. I literally go out of my way to buy the kind for the kitchen that are scented. The ones I buy are lavender, and they smell good. So you open the lid, it doesn't smell disgusting. I know. The little things matter, right? So anyway, I was like, well, I can't use that in my reef, so I got the big black bags that you use for trash cans. I have these stretchy ones that, I don't remember the brand, you know, they're the ones everyone buys. And I put them in there, I tied up the bag really carefully, and then I floated one bag in the sump, and I had the rest in a big giant cooler. However, it wasn't long before I bagged up all the ice and put all the bags directly in the reef. I guess it's a good thing there's less corals in there because there was no way they'd get hit by giant bags of ice acting like icebergs. But the nice thing is I learned that 30 pounds of ice in my reef tank brings down the temperature 1 degree. So I had to do that 3 times today. I also had to put a bag of ice in the frag system, and one bag, 10 pounds of ice, brings that tank temperature down 1 degree as well. So between all the ice I bought today, I spent about $35 in ice. I was able to keep the tanks the right temperature even while the house was 85, 86 degrees. The house right now is 77 degrees, so it's been coming down for the last few hours, and I'm glad because I didn't like to worry about the reef. I don't know. I mean, these are the kind of things that tend to happen. Murphy's Law seems to be prevailing strongly in this house lately. So anyway, I am glad that the tank is okay, I'm glad that the reef is okay, and I'm glad that the house is cooling off. And that's it for today's Reef Diary. I hope you enjoyed the first part where I talked about the cleanup crew. I thought that would be a fun one. And I did not expect to have to append the end of that diary with something else that happened today, but this is literally what it's like to run a reef tank. Every day is a new surprise.